Hobsons, the 12 beers of Hobsons Brewery um, calendar. It surprised me yesterday, to be fair, when when there was the same beer got replicated. Absolutely threw me out, and made me absolutely chuckling. And then I realised then that there's only 9 beers, so you're going to get a replication. Now I know that I'm all good. So I've got the beer. The beer's here. It's all um, under the cloth, and I've just got to set up my um, comments so I can actually read the comments. A bit earlier tonight, we've got something on later, so yeah, it is what it is. So I still haven't worked out how to spin the camera around, so we're not getting it on YouTube, getting it the writing the wrong way around. I don't know how to do that. But I suppose one of these days I'll work it out. But at least it's working. I mean, better to have it working than not working. Right. So I've got the pop out chat coming on. Chat. It says top chat, so let's go to live chat. And there we go. So today's beer is one from Hobsons, of course, and it's not the same beer, thank God. Could you imagine 3 days on the run? I think I'd absolutely just piss myself laughing. And so this is right. That's different. So it says it's Old Prickly, and a snuffly hedge grog. I thought it said that, and I'm trying to read it. I'm like, snuffly hedge grog. What the hell was that? 4.2%. So on the back it says a pale ale full of hop flavour and brewed with Columbus and Lubelski hops. Lubelski, that's a new one. To give a complex flavour of floral and citrus notes. I got floral and citrus with the first one, the first two actually. So yeah, 4.2%. And today I've actually found the glass as well. So massive thank you to Mike Thorpe. Again, you know, for gifting this to the channel, and I hope I do the reviews at least some credit. But yeah, there's the glass that comes with it. The curious thing is with the glass, it tells you not to open it until the 12th day, and that's like, wait on a minute, don't open the top compartment till the 12th day. I thought, surely you want the bloody glass on the first day. So yeah, I'm not sure that was. I'm not sure that they got the right, you know, the writing right there, but it's what it is, I suppose. So where's my doodah? And not only am I doing Hobsons Brewery beers over a 12-day run, and a nice pop of smoke on the top there, you can see it. Yeah, it looks like you can see it. I'm also doing low cost beer, and I'm not looking at them at all, so I will not know what is happening with them at all. So curious thing, I've not seen anything on the internet come up, a notification about YouTube. So YouTube, as usual, not the greatest for notifications. And I don't want to schedule beer reviews because the only problem with that is I never know 100% when I'm actually going to do it. But yeah, there we go. Looks a good pour. Plenty of carbonation going off. A nice white head. Yeah, looks decent. You class that as more of a goldy colour pour. Pale gold, goldy colour. Right. There's a lovely sweetness on the nose. Like a sweet floral rather than... Although with floral and citrus, technically they always seem to come together anyway. But yeah, even a touch of bubble gum on the nose. Oh, well, certainly hitting the spot nice. It's at room temperature. I've not brought the beers down the beer room for obvious reasons. Modern traditional, You want it at room temperature. You do not want it absolutely bloody freezing, because it's not nice to drink when it's freezing. Um, Craft beer, yeah, you can get away with it being cold, and some people love it ice cold. But for me, lager's king when it's cold. Craft beer wants to be about 5 or 6 degrees. Impy stouts, room temperature for me. Stouts, room temperature. Modern traditional beer, again, room temperature. But obviously, we're all very different, and that's a kettle of fish. Good evening. I have to look on there because when you look at the screen, Kevin. Good evening. Did you see the Glamorgan beers in cans now? I did like their beers when I went over to Rill. I got mine from Morrison's in Rill. Didn't get any on special offer, mind. Paid full price. You know. Yeah, no 4 for 7s in Rill. Yeah, I got the glass. Yeah, it's at the top. But it says the thing that makes you chuckle, unless I've read it wrong. These things happen. It says the top area. It says open on day 12 for treats. Okay. I thought, well, where's this bloody glass then? It's got to be at the top. So I teared the top up, went in. There's a pair of socks in there, so I'll wear them after day 12. And I think there's a tin opener and side glass as well. I mean, it's a nice glass, to be fair. Yeah. Another easy drinking beer, or just a slight bit of bottle conditioning there. That will disappear quite quickly. Yeah, tiny little bit of sediment there, but you're going to get that sometimes in that's better. I can see the screen again now. I need to rejig the beer room so that the laptop is basically there, and that with this just slightly above, or have it there. But then I've got the bloody bottle in the way as well. So, but yeah, that's looking nice. That is nice beer. Like I say, florally, more floral than citrus. I found this time. Oh, break up a week tomorrow for 2 weeks. So ready. It's funny how you need that break from the normal. Sitting at home doing nothing all day, watching Marvel films or Christmas films. I'm good for that. Just try not to drink too much. That's my Achilles heel. Me Turkish delight empty stouts going down too quick. Yeah. So yeah. Thank God for the low cost beers that Mersey Beers is gifted. I've not opened them yet. I want to see how they go. Good evening, Thomas. How are you? Yeah, Glamorgan, lovely. The cake stout was really nice. I think Wales have got some breweries that a lot of the country don't see. Well, obviously in Wales they do, but England, and I'd wish that bloody Morrison's and Tesco's and that bring more of their beers this way, and do like an event, like beer festivals, where we have 30 or 40 beers from Wales, from Scotland, from Northern Ireland, and even Ireland and Northern Ireland together probably, but bring them across, put them on the aisles, even if it's on a 4 for 7.50 or whatever the offer is, and 3 for 6 and Morrison's. You drive people to go into the shops to just pick a load of beers up. And I wish I was in charge of supermarkets, because I'd do that. I would. And you can imagine that the amount of pallets needed across the country would be massive. I mean, it may be a struggle for the breweries to get so much beer out all in one go, but it would be fantastic to see. Will it happen? Probably not these days. No, I think all supermarkets have nowhere near as good as what they were. Morrison's was easily the best supermarket back in the day, but nowadays, yeah, not as great. Break up next Friday. Yeah, about 10 o'clock next Friday. If I go in early all week next week, round about 10 o'clock next Friday, that'll be me wrapped up. So brilliant. No gardening. So just come home and chill on the settee. Yeah, yeah. Watch some Marvel and or Harry Potter or whatever. Yeah, yeah. As long as I'm chilling, I don't really care. And yeah, it's been a long year of work. Um, I've took on more gardens now outside of my normal work and more regular gardens. So, but well, obviously, like most people, people are doing extra hours and that, um, just to make ends meet. You know, just to be able to pay the bills. Sad, really, that you have to work so hard just to pay the bills these days. While the rich get away with it as usual. Aldi in Ireland, the beer range has dropped a bit. Do you know something? I've not even been to an Aldi for ages. I went in Lidl the other week. Crap. Went in Asda. Crap. Sainsbury's. New beers in Sainsbury's. There was new beers in Morrison's. So with the wife and the older son, we're going to go to. I'm gonna whatever money they give me, I'll go to one of the two, buy a load, and that'll be my Christmas present from the wife. And we've scaled Christmas back this year. Back in the day, we'd spend 300 or 400 quid on each of us for Christmas, but I just can't afford it. So now we've scaled it back. Yeah, I can't work out how to change the frigging resolution, mate. I've gone into the settings and I can't fucking do it. No point having the screen the other way around because I won't be able to see who I'm talking to. I won't be able to see out. So, yeah. Oh, the food shop. Jesus Christ. And I worked in retail and no notification. Yeah, I've got the phone, my phone in the background and no bleeping on the phone. Good evening, Mr. Bears. Thank you, matey, for the beers. They've come. I've not opened the box. I'll show you the box. Oh, I did do a video. Oh, fucking hell. Floor's wobbling. I've just hide my details somewhere. But yeah, there we go. Low cost beer there. And can't wait to start reviewing them from the 13th. So I'll already be on day 4 or 5 by then. Let me just chuck this back over it, out of the way. Tell you what, it's a bloody heavy box. Good heavy box. Bring back the 4 for 6. It's never going to happen, mate. Never going to happen. Bearded Garden. Good evening. Bearded Gardener. Hey. I'm nearly turning into a bearded gardener at this rate. I need a shave. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So with the low cost beers, what I'm going to do, because Hobsons ones are predominantly going to be 4%. I know that. I can tell that without even looking at the beers. The low cost ones could be anything. Turn the live. Yeah, I need to schedule beer reviews in earlier in the day. When I know we're not doing anything or going anywhere, I need to schedule beer reviews in. So at least then you can see that, you know, one will probably be at 7:30 because I'm not watching Emmerdale. Can't stand it. That'll probably be the low cost beer live. The Hobsons one will probably be around about 4:00ish, 4:30. Unless we're going out somewhere, but I don't think we're going out much this Christmas. Can't afford it. Okay, now, not in the shops. I mean, we are out this Sunday. My son, he had some good news today. So he goes in the office. He works in aircon. Aircon's a great trade these days. Low cost beer is not even run by the same people these days. So, Smiling Grape, based in St. Neots, they were the owners of Low Cost Beer. They sold, it was going downhill massively, to be fair, towards the end, and it wasn't getting the beers in. There was no, half the time it was just spirits and crisps and nuts on the website. Then another lad's took it over now. Obviously I don't know who they are. But if you've been on very recently, in the last month or so, you'll notice the beer prices are nowhere near as cheap as what they were back in the day. You know, them sort of prices are never going to come back. Low cost beer, he got the prices. He was buying pallets at dirt cheap, and you've got to be in the right place at the right time. But nowadays there is a good range of beers in there, to be fair. From breweries I've never heard of, so it's interesting. Yeah, I'm hoping he brings the draft back. Carries on, start doing the draft. I suppose at the moment he's got loads of cans, and the draft beers is for me key, because there was some of the beers on there. I know he's done some draft. I've seen it, but at that time I didn't have the spends, you know, to get it. So because it was like a litre of a bloody impy for £5 or something daft. And I thought, fucking, that's a good price. There was some good prices. So, but it's worth going on every a bit, you know, a bit more regular to see what they've got. Loads of ex-Tesco stock. That's the thing. They have auctions, and you've got to be at the auctions to buy the pallet. So you've got to have, for that sort of business, you've got to have the money to buy pallets of stuff, and go in and buy the pallets, then obviously sell it for the whatever you're going to make on it. It's tough. Good evening, Darren. It's been a while, matey. Yeah, my son, he works in aircon, and just a slight deviation. He went in the office, and they've bought him a hamper of stuff. To be fair, the hamper, not really his cup of tea, but it was a nice gesture. Then there's a card in the hamper saying, "Thank you for your hard work this year." They've given him a £1,000 bonus. Fucking hell. £1,000 bonus. It's already on 10 grand more than I am a year. And that's his basic. And yeah, £1,000 bonus. Get taxed on that, obviously. So you're looking at about £7, 750 quid, not £7.50. But fucking hell, that's nice, isn't it? Could you imagine that appreciation? Yeah. I'm going to get that big country estate, I am. Yeah. 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 Fuck and haul. Getting the keys to that estate. Yeah, it is what it is. And to be fair, he works like a trooper. Obviously, his dad's work rate has gone down to him, and left school, went to Sainsbury's, did his work in Sainsbury's, and 6 or 7 years doing bakery. Passed all his courses, and then a job came up with a friend of ours, aircon, and learnt the trade. Got taught by somebody who's fucking brilliant. And then left that company when he was fully trained. They weren't going to offer him. They were going to keep him on minimum wage, which is shit, for his job, or even below minimum wage actually at the time. So he left, and he's gone up, and now he's got a job. You know, he gets paid from the minute he leaves the house. Hey, driving for 3 hours. So you're getting paid for driving. Yeah, it's a lot of bloody driving, but sometimes this time of the year, I'd drive for 3 hours and keep bloody warm. Thankfully, I got my pay rise now. It's only 3%, but better than they kick up the arse. But 4 times pass on the good. Yeah, 3%'s nice. I'm getting closer and closer to minimum wage. I can see it. You know, every time minimum wage goes up. So all your qualifications, you go, all the college you go to, qualifications, experience, all of a sudden you're on minimum wage, and it's like, and then mostly for officers and student places all around the country, yeah. And he's moving into his house probably next week. He's bought an house, and he's 30 years old. Yeah, God, it's going to be strange seeing him move out. You know, it kind of get used to it. You know, my daughter moved out quite young. You know, a good 8 or 10 years ago, she moved out with her boyfriend, and now they've got the grandkids. But yeah, it's yeah, a bit strange. We just have the younger one in the house and the dog, and obviously the wife. You know. Although my daughter thinks we're going to be babysitting every week, and that fucker's not happening. Not every week. Overnight babysitting, I'm on about. I know. Yeah, yeah. I'll be down in the beer room to get him doing 3 hour lives just to get some peace and quiet. But anyway, back to the beer. So a different beer today. Not the same beer 3 days on the road. I would have absolutely pissed myself laughing if it had been the same beer. Yeah, she's okay. Pepper. She was a bit naughty last week. My wife does cakes, and she left the bin was full in the dining room, or the cake room as we call it, and she left the offcuts of the cake. So when you do a cake, you use like a cutter to cut off the off, so you've got a nice flat surface. She put all the offcuts in a bag on the floor. She went out to pick my son up. Fucking dog had been in, eating all the offcuts. What happened? Next day, she did the same. Over the weekend, she's pissing everywhere. She's drinking, pissing, and I think all that sponge went through her. And yeah, but now she's back to normal now. Fair play. I've had to bath her tonight, so yeah. No, didn't get a fucking refund. No, watch the twat. So you know, on these Uber Eats apps, although we ordered from McDonald's, on the app, you've seen him come down to the bottom of the road, driving through the estate where we are. Then he fucked off back to McDonald's, literally 2 miles away. And I think he did that and then he says to make out that he'd been there to pick it up. But we'd already seen him on our estate. By the time it got here, it was cold. Phoned up, couldn't get nowhere. McDonald's says, no, it's nothing to do with us, because Uber delivered it. We found out later, looking at the legal side of things, the people you buy it, if you go through the McDonald's app, McDonald's are liable, not the driver. It's McDonald's. Couldn't get through to McDonald's. 4 hours of ringing that sodding store. In the end, my wife just said we're never going back, so we won't. But yeah, absolute awesome. Yeah, you're right. McDonald's expensive, slower, no better, pointless than that. Yeah, them and KFC. And to be honest, all these places that use Uber Eats, Deliveroo, and all them sort of people, they're all rubbish. Because the people who you can't get through to them, you get through to a computer, and when you just can't get through to talk to someone to complain. Absolutely wrong. You know, in this day and age. But that's the way they do it. They do it so you can't complain. But in the end of the day, McDonald's I'll never ever get a McDonald's. I hate McDonald's anyway. Arseholes. Have I had a Popeye? What the hell's a Popeye? I've never heard of it. Nicer than KFC and same sort of price. Rightio. Is that? I've never heard of a Popeye in Nottingham. Yeah. Thought he was on about spinach then for a minute. Tin of spinach, Popeye. No. I mean, to be fair, you know, with the cost of takeaways these days, Jesus Christ, that McDonald's was 57 quid for 4 of us. 57 quid. If it had been me paying it, I wouldn't have done it. I said, you can fuck off. I'm not paying that. Not doing it. But then you go to restaurants these days and prices. And before Christmas, Popeyes is like KFC. It's in London and Manchester. Maybe we have. Maybe we have in Nottingham, but I've not seen one. Unless it's in the city centre. and we tend not to go anywhere into the city centre these days. Nottingham city centre is a bit like a refugee camp. You walk in and it's like, oh my god, and yeah, yeah, it's not great. Liverpool has free Popeyes, Louisiana chicken. I mean, for me, if I could find somewhere that's got the spices that are like KFC, because KFC don't cook chicken any better than anybody else. It's the spices. And if you can get somewhere that's got that similar sort of spice, then you're laughing, aren't you? Especially if the price is a lot better. I mean, I can remember KFC in COVID. Was it 5 pieces of chicken or 6 pieces for 5.99? Jesus Christ. We'd go up to KFC, order 2 boxes, sit in the restaurant and just pig out on it. Oh, fantastic. In fact, we'd order 2, go up and get another one, take it home and eat it the next day cold. Because I love cold KFC. Spices in KFC, right? Yeah. I mean, on Christmas Eve, we're going to go out and get a Chinese, but that's probably our only takeaway this Christmas. Definitely not doing McDonald's for obvious reasons. So, yeah, an easy drinking, floral and citrus beer. Old Prickly, Snuffly Hedge Grog. That must obviously be wet from where Shropshire is. It's obviously what they call their beer, I assume. Um, Obviously, I know that grog is the a name for beer, obviously. So yeah. Oh, finish at 10 o'clock tomorrow. 2 gardens, home for free. That's the weekend, and I'm ready. I'm really ready. Get to that time of the year, especially with winter coming, and my energy levels are starting to droop, and especially after hours. When are the lives this weekend? So every day, basically. So when's the 13th? Oh, literally Saturday. So Saturday that'll be the first double live. We're not out on Saturday because we're babysitting. Got both my grandkids. So one will be about 4 o'clock. That'll be the Hobsons. 7:30, round about 7:30, will be the low cost, and that'll be the interesting one because it could be as random as anything. And yeah, could you imagine pulling out a Carlsberg Pilsner? Ah, funny as hell. I doubt it. But give the bell a ding dong. We haven't done the bell for ages, have we? You know, that rattles the old eardrums. Bloody hell. They were the days, weren't they? The old bell, ringing the bell, and oh dear, and wearing the glasses. And I'm hoping, to be fair, that once I build it back up and get into some sort of regular rhythm, that yeah, I carry it on and that. It's just getting back into the rhythm of it. Once you, for a long while, I couldn't get into the rhythm of doing lives. And not only that, fucking StreamYard, like 2 days ago, StreamYard just kept playing up and playing up. Um, Slurpy's got his own channel. He's doing well in his own channel and getting some good views as well. Last time I looked, doing his trips round pubs and that. I'm not so easy doing stuff in pubs. I'm not, and it's always usually busy anyway. Pubs I go in are usually rammed, and you always feel a bit of a twat on the phone. Um, but he seems to be doing well with his channel. I suppose every channel and every person who does YouTube is doing it for their own reason. Some people are doing it for the obvious reason they want to go viral and they want to quit the job. Um, Sad thing of that is there's not many people in the beer review world that are going to be able to do that. It's as simple as that. Um, And with all social media, it's all a game, and if you can play it well, then wow, um, the money's there to be made. Look at Real Ale Craft Beer, Simon. He's doing well out of it. 100. Last I looked, he was on 100,000 subscribers. So got lucky. Went viral at the right time. I mean, it's only because of him that I ever did beer reviews anyway. Back in 2018, watching the news, and there's some bloke on the box, and obviously it was him doing beer reviews, and I'm like, hey, hold on a minute. I can talk crap about beers, and obviously I do talk crap about beers. But yeah, but for most people, it's a way to, well, really talk, and that's the thing, and enjoy beer. You know, we all enjoy beer. And that's the way it should be. I mean, I talk more doing beer reviews than I do at work. Yeah. When you work on your own all day, you don't talk a lot. Talk to the birds. Birds don't talk back. Talk to the pheasants now and again. Yeah. Although one day I talked to the pheasant. Fucking pheasant was trying to attack me mower. I'm on the ride on. Went hello to it, and next minute it's walking at the side, and I thought, well, this is good. And the fucking thing was trying to attack the mower. And one of my workmates, it got a bit too friendly with us all. And he went to attack me workmate. My workmate gave him a kick up the arse, this pheasant. And we never did see him again. So he earns 12k from YouTube. That's not a lot, is it, really? You've still got to work. You can't live off that. 12k per annum. Is that 12k per annum? What he earns? That's not a lot. Can't live off that. You've still got to work, haven't you? I mean, I look at Theme Park Worldwide, and they're going all across the world. They've bought a house, car, literally out all the time at different parks. Sometimes they'll get it for free. Most of the time they're paying. But when you're getting 3 million views on a video, wow. And that's just one video. You can really put, for that, wow. Especially if you're on all social medias. It's interesting, but I think it's a certain generation or a certain type of people. And also, it's all a game. And it's the same with websites, owning your own websites. I used to be good at owning my website. And there was a stage where I was really crafty. So there's a thing called RSS feeds. And on my forum, I would get the RSS feed from Amazon, say, and automatically post it on my forum. And at the time, my forum was page 1 on Google. And basically, I was getting the Amazon feeds with my affiliate code before Amazon was getting it. And it lasted for a while. Then they cottoned on and fucking banned me. And but yeah, that's funny. You can look at the data on Social Blade. There's a bit of a sliding scale. Needs to convert from US dollars and right. God, there's no no privacy, is there? If anybody looks at mine, they'll realise I get about 30 quid a month. Yeah, which isn't very much. But good evening, Mr. Older and Wiser. Yeah, well, I try to cut the foul language. But a lot of the time it's just, I know some people who are, oh God, absolutely terrible. And they've got millions of subscribers. So yeah, it's all down. I think beer reviews is more of a niche. And that's, there's only a few beer review channels that get anything like that. But also, I work anyway, so I can't put the time in and the editing, because some people edit their stuff and their thumbnails and all that, and I can't be done with that. It's enough just to do the beer reviews and enjoy a beer review. Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is the problem. On StreamYard, it wouldn't do it the right way round. On YouTube, for whatever reason, it does it the other way around. That's why food reviews, that's why the likes of Scott, Real Ale, Craft Beer, or Barry, Only Beer, No Idea, they all seem to do the food reviews. And yeah, I'm not sure I can be bothered doing that either. Yeah, I'm good at what I'm happy with what I do. It gives me some focus to keep my brain active and doing the social media stuff. And I do it in my spare time. Just made a Guinness clone. What was the beer kit? Or have you done it all grain? And does it actually taste like Guinness? I know some of these say they taste like Guinness, but you know, I mean, Guinness, to be honest, is a bland. It is a bland stout. At the end of the day, seems everyone on YT wants to review food. The thing is now, back when Hobzine and Real Ale Craft Beer started, they were the originals. Sounds like something from that series on Vampire Diaries. But back in 2010, they were the first, and they got into it really early. Obviously, Real Ale Craft Beer exploded. Um, I still think Obzine's the better reviewer, without being horrible to Simon. Um, but nowadays, there's literally bloody millions of people doing YouTube and social medias, and there's people with backing behind them. And yeah, there's so many now, and it's a tough game. And unless you're getting people that are gonna keep spreading your stuff, as it were, you're never really gonna get that far with it. All grain, and yes, that's interesting. Um, I said last night all grain. I just find all grain a lot of work for what it is. Um, I've done some good all grain beers, and I've done some where I'm not happy. I think I'm going to get 24 litres, which is what I should be getting. And you know, every time I've drained it out and all the sediment and gunk has gone, I've ended up with like 16 litres, and it's like, where's all my beer? And yeah, yeah, I just, unless there's a way of doing it and I'm not doing it right. Um, Back in a bit. Two Burco boilers. Ah. See, I'm using the Pico, the mashing bin, for doing mine. Um, but at the moment, I'm enjoying doing the beer kits because there's so many beer kits I've never tried. Um, and next up on the agenda, German beers. You know, if I can get something that's like a Spaten or a Polana or a brew in a bag, right? Yeah, I thought you said back in a bit there. That's that. BIAB is actually that as well. So yeah, I do brew in the bag as well. Yeah. Problem with me with beer kits, I never read the instructions either. So you know, it is what it is on that side of things. And sometimes you look and you think, oh God, I hate put the bloody hops in. And yeah, I did that with one of the Woodford's beer kits where I didn't put the hops in. I ended up chucking the hops in something else in the end. But yeah, I do think the beer kits, some of the beer kits these days, there's so many to work through, especially when they go on offer. You know, I mean, like these Mastercraft ones, these new ones from Love Brewing, 12, you know, working out at 30 pence a pint. Can't fault it, can you? Um, you know, you can see why home brewing is exploding again because you go to a pub, yeah, you go to a pub and you're talking to people and you're chatting and it's nice. But when it's £5.50 a pint, and that's in Nottingham, not in wherever else. Cooper's beer kit's made to 13 litres, no sugar or malt. are superb. Right, yeah. So have you lowered it down to 13 litres? Um, from what would be 23 litres or something, or the 13-litre kit? Coopers. I'm sure I've done the Coopers ginger beer. Two or three times I've done it and it never fermented properly. I had to mess about putting different yeast in. And in the end, the R20. So, oh, you brewed short then? And right, that's interesting. I mean, let's be fair. As long as the beer is good in the end, that's all that matters. I mean, I do like the Simply beer kits, the Simply ginger beer kit. If I'm talking about ginger beer again, I really rate that. It's a good beer kit. But what I do with that kit, I get root ginger, chop it up, boil it in water, and add that to the ginger beer. And whoa, the kick and the heat it puts in the beer is stunning. Increases hoppiness. Oh, right, yo. And if you don't mind losing that, I mean, obviously your ABV should increase, shouldn't it? Or will it? Probably won't, because if you're not adding any sugar or liquid malt or dextrose, it's only the kit brewing, isn't it? So you're maybe not going to get an increase of ABV on that. Oh. So enjoying this different beer for me. Floral and citrus. Glass is nice as well. £13, 30 litres, 50 pence a pint then, basically. Yeah, can't fault that. Can't fault 50 pence a pint, can you? It's when you pay 45 quid for like an Imperial Stout kit. Good evening, Mr. Stout King. How are you? It's when you pay like for the Imperial Stout kit from Love Brewing, 45 quid. It's an investment, and if you cock it up and it don't brew properly for whatever reason. I mean, to be fair, in all the years of brewing, I've only ever had one beer that I've actually slung, and that was an Irish stout, funnily enough, and it smelled awful, and I had to bin it. I mean, I've had some beers where there's a sulphur smell, and it's lasted, and all of a sudden, brilliant. Yeah. In the end, it turned decent. But yeah, I do like their Impy Stout kit. I just wish they'd put it in these bags and not them pouches. Them pouches wind me up. They're trying to because that stout's thick as hell to try and get out. So what's everybody buying this? I'm getting cold now. It's a bit chilly in here. What's everybody got for Christmas? Any good beers lined up? I mean, I've been gifted a couple of crackers behind me. Here we go. A barley wine from Loch Lomond and an Impy Stout as well from Loch Lomond. Can't wait to try that. So yeah, the Turkish Delight Stout. You put rose water, not Turkish essence. I thought you would put Turkish Delight essence into or flavouring to make it, but you put rose water and pour that into it. And when I first drank it, it was a bit strong, and I thought, bloody hell, I've put too much in. And somebody actually commented on that. You've put way too much in. Shouldn't put the whole bottle in. But now, and there you go. Here we are. It's been sat there, 45 minutes or more, and 8%. It's not the thickest of 8%ers. You could have put lactose in to make it thicker, brewed short, instead of using sugar, liquid malt. But I mean, for me, the best way is to use the Muntons Milk Stout kit because it's got that lactose in it. It's quite a thick beer. And if you get some more lactose and then sugar and then rose water, you can make a really thick Imperial Stout. So you can smell the Turkish delight and the taste, and it tastes good. Room temperature's king though. At room temperature, it thickens up quite nicely. Strangely enough, it's funny how beers, when they're cold, are always, for me anyway, always seem to be thinner rather than a good thick beer. I always find that really funny. So tempted to brew a mint chocolate stout. Ooh. Got to go. Have a good Christmas. Cheers, mate. Thank you for coming in. A mint chocolate stout. Munton's milk stout. Yeah. One of the best, I think. I mean, when I got those kits for half price, I seen them for 13 quid or 14 quid or whatever they were. And predictive text, yeah. I thought it was a mint chocolate stout then. But yeah, the Munton's milk stout. Jesus Christ. If I'm ever going to brew it again, and if I can get hold of them cheap, I'll brew 2 kits together again. But I'll get a bigger fermentation vessel, because they are as lively as I've ever seen. Yeah. Bloody hell. That, it was like my bath looked like somebody had a really bad day, with a bad belly all over the toilet. Just getting German beer from Tesco's. I'm going to Munich in February. Ooh, I'd like to go to Germany. We, as a family, want to go to Europa Park in Rust, and even if I have to drive across, and I don't really fancy driving across, to be fair, but wow, that is a long name. Just sing that name. When's next batch of prune juice wine? I need to do it again. I need to do it. And Impy Stout an Imperial prune juice wine. That'd be something, wouldn't it? Could you imagine? And good evening, Mr. BS Homebrews and Beer Reviews. Wow, that's a long name, that is. Just having a bottle of Old Session and £1 a bottle in Tesco's. How is it? I've never tried it. And I'm not a beer snob. I'm not. But sometimes some of these £1 beers, Green King, to be fair, aren't as bad as Marston's. Marston's beers, the Hobgoblin range, they've just destroyed the range. I can't think of any Hobgoblin beers that are any good. Even what was King Goblin is now artificial tasting. Last time I had it, anyway. Shepherd Neems seem to have redeemed themselves. They've stopped using, and I assume they all use a bit of sugar, glucose, but there was something that they were doing in their brewing where I could taste the glucose, but that seemed to have changed. Green King, as much as I think Green King, good evening, Mr. Bamwell Backroom Brewer. How are you? Are you still doing the old home brew? And anything else with the old Macclesfield Brewery? I've forgot the name of the Macclesfield Brewery. It's gone. I keep tempting to change my beer review name, but I don't think it makes any difference. For me, at least. What's the Macclesfield Brewery? You did the beers. Red Willow Brewery. Yeah. Do you know, it's really strange how you can... Red Willow, yeah. It's really strange how I can remember things as random as you brewing a beer with Red Willow. And yet, somebody will say something to me and I forgot 5 minutes later. She was poorly. She ate a load of cake that the offcuts that the wife had left in a bag on the floor. Wife shouldn't have left a bag on the floor with a dog. Dogs are greedy, eat anything. And then she did it another day and did the same again. 2 days on the run, dog's eating loads of cake. You know, she's a fatty anyway. And we're trying to stop her. We're stopping giving her food off our plates. She's only supposed to be eating what's in, dog food now. And whatever it did, it caused her to have loads of wheeze and incontinence. And again, like you say, we were worried about the vets. Pissed all over my settee. We had no eating at the weekend. And like fleeces galore hanging on doors. Like the house was 11 degrees. Freezing. And with wet stuff hanging on doors. Obviously it's too cold outside to dry. But she had a day where she was pooing a load and she's back to normal now, thank God. So yeah, she's better now. Thank you. So I get the standard 3 days off work, your Christmas Day, Boxing Day and New Year's Day. But I've actually booked 7 days off because in the summer months, I don't really book any holidays. Too busy at work, too busy doing other people's gardens. And because now I work longer on Monday to Thursday and finish early on a Friday, I'm getting all my gardens in. So I get a lovely weekend every weekend now. So I don't feel the need to take time off in the summer, unless we're going away, obviously. So yeah, 2 weeks off work. So, and I'm looking forward to it, like most people, I worked in retail for 5 years, and having a day off work, you finish on Christmas Eve at like 4 o'clock, and then you're back in work on Boxing Day, and you're like, why the fuck am I here on Boxing Day? Pardon my French, for anybody who doesn't like swearing. But yeah, why am I here on Boxing Day? Hated it, absolutely hated it. So well, I should just quickly review this because I actually haven't done a review. Floral, citrus, easy drinking, and yeah, I ought to do a 1 minute review after I've done the beer, didn't I? Really. But yeah, it's a lovely beer. You'd give it a 4.1 out of 5. Easy drinking stuff from Hobsons Brewery. And yeah, anybody who's waited 52 minutes for that, I do apologise. Yeah. I'm still getting back into the spirit of things with doing lives, and I personally think the low cost beers will be interesting. That Mr. Mersey Beers has gifted to the channel. That's going to be absolutely hilarious. Benedictina Hell. 4 for 6 for Mercado is my Christmas treat. They look big time. Fair play there. Mersey Beers working all the way up to 1 p.m. on the 24th. Then off to January the 2nd. Yeah, certain jobs you just can't get the time off, can you? And it's not easy, I mean, I did the 5 years in retail, and I loved retail, apart from the fact when they tried to shove me on the tills, and I can't be dealing with customers that close, especially some arsehole moaning about how much it costs, and you think to yourself, I'm in the same boat, mate. And I'm not happy with the price either. I don't need you moaning. At the end of the day, if you're not happy with the price, go somewhere else. And but yeah, I prefer gardening over that anyway. Although the beer we use and the bargains we used to get in supermarkets were horrendously good. I had much beer I didn't need to brew for 5 years. When you're getting cases of beer for like 3 or 4 quid a time. And oh dear. Yeah, Aldi I think are doing Christmas and Boxing Day off. Home Bargains are. I think they ought to. Why the hell does any big shop, need to be open on Boxing Day? No need. Yeah, it's just greed. Little shops, corner shops, if they want to open, that's their kettle of fish. Big shops, no. They've earned their money, rattling the money down the tills, ridiculous amounts of money. I've seen it on the tills in our store. They were making unbelievable amounts. Although now there's half the tills and everyone's going through the self-scan. Yeah. And then you get all the people moaning that, all the people that hate and that say, I'm not using self-scan and I'm not using bloody You know, where he's the other sort of scanning. And then they stand in the lines, and there's only like 4 or 5 tills now, where there used to be 20. Makes you wonder if that will come back, reverse itself, and more tills. But you imagine the money supermarkets are saving on staff. First time in 29 years as a postman. I have Christmas week off next week. Off rest week. On the booze big time. Normally back in day after Boxing Day. Yeah. See, being a postman, you're out. Walking. I bet you're in your shorts most of the year. It's a job that I've thought about doing, because walking all day, I do anyway. Talking to people's good. Dogs, flipping dogs biting you. I'm not so sure I like that. You know. I mean, I've been. You've walked by some gardens. This big dog comes running at you. It's like, shit. Am I supposed to? Are you supposed to deliver to that door? And yeah. Although these days with delivery parcels, they just lob it over the fence, don't they? Like, yeah, here's your fucking parcel, and just walk off. I suppose that's the only good thing about doorbells these days, like the Ring doorbells. You can see who's there. And I've been at work before watching. All of a sudden, it's come up, and I've managed to click on, and it's loaded up that quick. And I'm there. Yeah, all right, mate. Just stick it around there. And it's these that make out take a photo and then walk off with it, and you're like, yeah, I've got you. And yeah. I mean, my mate, he's been a post office. He's been a postman since he was 16, and he's the same age as me. So he's got. I've been doing it nearly 40 years now. Yeah, and bless him, you know. Likes his beer. Yeah, you can't fault him on that side of things. We all like our beer, but you can tell the wife's out tonight. Otherwise, I'd have been off at half an hour. But son's up the arse, he's watching TV. My other son's up the bedroom watching TV. So, yeah, bit of chill time on the internet, doing the live thing, getting back into the spirit of things. And, yeah, I need to brew some prune juice wine just for the crack. And brew it short, though. I don't want 20 litres of it. Jesus Christ. Christmas stack of drinks is building up nice. Loads of beers, whiskey, woman port. I'm banned from spirits. Plan on just eating, drinking, getting pissed over Christmas and New Year. Fair play to that. Bollocks to shorts, be too cold. Now I've got the legs for a start. I can't wear shorts. And yeah, and you're right, it's too bleeding cold. I mean, even now, it's not really cold at the moment. I don't know if it's a thing that I'm getting older and I'm more nesh, or I've got Baileys. But even at the moment, I'm wearing thermal leggings, and I've got a thermal top on as well. And I've also got the heated thing, and I'm tempted, ready for next year or ready for some part of the winter, to actually buy the leggings that you also plug into the USB. Because there's some jobs you do where I'm basically still, I'm not walking backwards and forwards, getting warm, and to have something heated and just to keep you warm. And if you're warm and dry, brilliant. As for Baileys, yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3 here, or Ballycastle, you know, Baileys, Ballycastle, and we've got about 5 bottles in the house, in the fridge. So yeah, we'll be having some Baileys. Do you get stuck into some wine with your turkey? If I've got any wine, yeah, I probably will. Yeah. Do you know the funny thing is, because we always do Christmas Day dinner. Do you know, every time you've done all that, I mean, predominantly the wife does the majority of the work. I do all the cleaning to make sure that the kitchen stays, and then I clean afterwards. but I try not to hit it too hard because otherwise I'll be rattled and I'm already steaming before I've even had anything to eat. Which isn't a bad thing sometimes, but does the prune juice help with constipation? Yeah, yeah. I've drank a pint of prune juice wine before. It was something like 11%. So it was a good ABV. I'm drinking it, and all of a sudden my stomach gurgling. And all of a sudden, there was a little bit of wind, and I'm like, oh shit, not doing that again. And yeah, there was one time I actually did a review, and I knew that I was in trouble. I was also diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Rightio. Feeling the cold a lot more than they used to, especially like you working outside. Yeah. So now, in the winter months now, I'm wearing more layers. Like here, I've got my thermal on now. I've got t-shirt. And work, to be fair, we've got a big heavy jumper and a fleece. But like now, I always wear a hat because a hat keeps you warm. I wear merino wool socks. And on days where it's a little bit wetter, I'll jump into my boots because the boots keep you dry. For 2 years, I was wearing like welly shoes. My feet were fucking freezing all the time, and it made the days so long. So this is the best winter I've had in about 3 or 4 years, to be fair. This is going to be a very, very wet winter. You can see it. So I'm changing the way I do gardening now. I'm not working out. I'm working out in the rain, but I'll make sure I've got an umbrella above me. And instead of doing it the way that I'm taught to doing it, like if I'm pruning shrubs or pruning stuff, I'll use the secateurs and bend down, getting muddy on my knees, which isn't good for your knees, and obviously getting bloody wet as well. Now I'm thinking, no, I'll use the strimmer and strim if I can. If it looks neat, do it that way with the umbrella and keep dry. And instead of working stupidly hard, work a little bit less hard and using the brain to do the work instead of, grafting like a prat and doing it that way. Where I can anyway, you can't always do that, to be fair. Yeah, the prune wine. Harry, Blue Nose Beer Reviews, he did the prune wine as well. And I think he aged this prune wine. And I've got to do it again because it was funny. I mean, it looked, obviously I did the prune wine and I thought prunes are dried plums. So you thought, right, if they're dried plums, then if I brew it, it'll come out as a plum wine. No, it didn't. Fucking didn't at all. All those impy starts has fucked us both up. Yeah. I'm not drinking as much as the old impy stouts these days. Can't do it, to be fair. I watched through most of your home reviews. Like the 16% Imperial Ginger Beer was a beast. It was a beast, Peter. Welcome back. And I'd like to do it again, but instead of using all that sugar, but it makes the kit, it'll make it more expensive. Either using multiple kits, so it's more expensive to brew, but getting a much thicker Imperial ginger beer. It's all about the money, isn't it? It's all about what you can afford to your budget for homebrew. But could you imagine, having an unlimited budget to spend on homebrew and chucking like 4 beer kits together into a 23 litre and thinking, right, let's just see what happens. Like chucking a stout with a ginger beer kit together and doing a ginger stout. The possibilities are endless, but it's all about having the money and and the time, obviously. But yeah, having the budget to be able to do that. If I had the budget, I probably would, because playing with beer kits is amazing. Can you get your hands on a pair of long reach hedge cutters? Yeah, I've got them at work now. Yeah. And I've even got an extension on the long reach hedge cutters. And the battery powered as well. So I use still battery powered edge cutters. So I'm not using petrol anymore. The only petrol things I use are for the mowers. I don't use petrol tools. Breathing all that bloody petrol in, not good for you. And because I look after stuff regular, it never becomes an issue. You know, if you cut your hedge once a year, a privet hedge, it's shit. But it looks shit all year. No. If you cut it once a month or every few weeks, it always looks pretty neat. That's the way to do it. And the time you spend cutting it is the same. Cutting it 10 times versus cutting it once. The time's the same. Same as you mow. If you leave your grass to grow 2 feet high, when you do mow it, it's taking you hours. Looks shit. But if you do it like every week or every 2 weeks, it's a few minutes. Half the time you're not even picking the grass up. And people don't understand that with gardening. That it actually, if you do it keep regular, that it never becomes a chore basically. Working outside, yeah. For me, I let things get on top of me, especially earlier this year, and I've come to that conclusion now that I'll do what I do. If whatever other people are doing, I'm not interested. I'll just do my job, and that's it. And it's always the best way, I think. Always fancied making a raspberry ripple stout. Won't be hard. The flavours are out there. If you look on these sites, where my wife goes, she goes to a cake making thing. And obviously cakes are the same as booze. The essences are the same sort of thing you'd put into booze anyway. And as long as you've got the right base kit, I mean, I don't think there's a better base stout kit than Munton's Milk Stout. I think that's the best low ABV stout kit out there. 30 quid, but because of the lactose, you get a thick beer. If you use liquid malt with that, and probably instead of sugar, try and keep it as thick as they come, or even brew two together if you can afford to, with a better yeast. It lively as hell though, and then use the raspberry ripple flavour. But some of the kits out there. I mean, I think that Beerworks, the Imperial Stout kit, is absolutely amazing. And again, it's a good kit. I'd still wish they'd use that instead of them bloody pouches. And we've only looked, somebody will watch my channel and think, do you know, that's a good idea. We should do that. Yeah. Be a hell of a lot easier to clean out and get rid of all the excess malt. Beer kits. I'm back into it now. Predominantly because I can't afford to spend £11 on a can of Impy Stout these days like I used to. 5 years ago, bloody hell. There was a time in the beer room when I had literally 400 beers behind me. And on the floor, over here. And now, I don't know, there's probably about 60 or 70 probably at the most, very most. And even that's, enough. But it's good to vary what you review and that. So, right, I've been yakking tonight. 1 hour 9 already. 5 to 7. Wife will be home soon. It's a nice beer, that is. Nice modern traditional beer. Hobsons Brewery. Can't fault him. A little bit of sediment in this beer though. It did say it's bottle conditioned, although yesterday's beer and the day before's beer, which were the same. That made me tickle yesterday. That had no sediment in, so yeah, I either got lucky or whatever. But there's not much sediment in there really. I mean, I've come across commercial beers where there's about that much sediment, and you're like, oof, that's a lot of sediment in a beer. From a commercial brewery, obviously. I had a bottle of King Goblin the other day and forgot how good it is. See, King Goblin, 8, 9 years ago, was absolutely my favourite beer. I had it literally last year, and it just tasted so artificial. For me, anyway, at least. We've all got different taste buds. No one person can say, "Oh, well, you shouldn't drink that beer," or "You should drink this beer," because we've all got different taste buds. Best beer this year. Oh dear. That's difficult. Oh dear. Trying to think where we've been on holiday this year. I mean, um, Cornwall, obviously. I think one of the best cask beers this year was from Daya, at Daya. Their best bitter, flipping heck. It was just off the charts. It was the freshest bitter that you've ever tasted, and it's like, wow. And then the penny dropped. The quality of their beers. I understand better now that why their beers, cost more because of the ingredients and all that. Best beer though, flipping heck. That's a question. Can't believe the way mainstream brewers have destroyed the majority of beer now. Yeah, I mean, look at Brewdog. They're shocking now. Beavertown. Whew. And then you look at the modern traditional breweries, Marston's. Their whole range, for me, is shocking. Green King aren't as bad as Marston's. But again, they're in that thing where you get a certain brand, like Old Speckled Hen, and there's like 15 versions now. Old Session Hen, I don't know, all sorts of different versions. Hobgoblin, another one. Best beer. God, that's difficult. I don't think I'm drinking as many box tickers like I used to. And predominantly the box tickers are usually the big beers. Green King's still decent on tap. If you can get it on tap. On cask. Yeah. Yeah, I'm stumped for that question. Probably the best beer is one of my own brews, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, last year when I brewed all those Imperial Stouts, flipping heck. That was before I found out I'd got diabetes. That probably pushed the sugar level up through the roof, that did. I ain't had a blood pressure thing in ages as well, so I'm probably going to get a bollocking when I go and get my blood pressure done. And and I bought a Spitfire a few months ago, and I used to love it. It was like water in malt. I was so shocked. The trouble is, a lot of non-beer fans will drink the Madri, etc., and pay. I know what you pay for lager these days. Lager is like pound, £2 more than beer, and there's literally nothing going in lager. And yeah, I mean, obviously lager's on keg, beer's on a lot of it's on cask. Cask is always predominantly cheaper. I try not to pay for keg because I look in the pub, Crown Inn where we go in Beeston. Your cask beer is anything from about £4.80 to about £6 depending on ABV. Bloody keg is starting off at £6 up to £7.50, £7.80, and over a few pints, whew, That's pricey. And we don't get thirds, we get halves and pints. So, you know, I look and think, I'm not paying that. And yeah, I know if it's a tightness thing, but I don't treat myself to beers like I used to do. You know, especially now with imperial stouts, where certain breweries, you know, their beers are £7 a third, and you're thinking, I'm not fucking paying £7 a third. And I have done a few times, but on the whole, I'm trying not to. I'm thinking, no, I'm not doing it. You know, not doing it. And Spitfire, you know, Shepherd Neame, isn't it? I think. Yeah, Spitfire Shepherd Neame. I'm sure Spitfire Shepherd Neame. I forget, you know. You know, when I worked in supermarkets, I knew every brewery, every beer they made, and now I'm like, but yeah, I mean, 1698 was, and now that is a great beer. Uh, Fuller's 1845. Wow, you know that is an absolutely class beer. Abbott Reserve Green King, absolute class. Um, and then you're looking at the German beers like your Spaten, Polana, Warsteiner, yeah. Um, but there's a lot of beers now. I'd drink once, but I'd never drink again. No, no interest. I mean, at the moment, I'm looking at Sainsbury's